Welcome everyone to that was loud. Welcome everyone to Creepin' It Real. Mommy was a little bit of a booze hound, you know.
No, she became a booze hound after that. Alex, get it right.
Welcome everyone to Creepin' It Real. We watch the scary movies so you don't have to, but you love watching them, so you'll watch it along with us. We're talking about Orphan today, directed by Jean Colette Sarah. Yeah. So right, let's get into it. Let's talk about some Orphan right now. If you've seen the movie poster, it's of this creepy looking girl who you would never in a million years bring to your home because she looks like a frickin' evil ventriloquist dummy. Okay, she makes Annabelle look cute. All right. So anyways, she's got like this dog collar. All right. So hold on. Let's start from the beginning. Oh, initial thoughts. For the spoilers. Let's do initial thoughts, guys. Please tell me what you thought.
Okay, so originally, this is the second time I'm watching this. Originally, I saw it when it came out in theaters, and weirdly enough, I thought it was kind of cool. I was like, all right, this is kind of a cool concept for it. It was till yesterday that I watched it again for the first time, and I was like, yo, this is weird. I don't think I like this anymore. And the only saving grace for me was, and I completely forgot that she was in this movie, is Vera Farmiga, and I was like, she was awesome in this movie, like she is in most of the movies she's in. But yeah, no, first time watching it, I thought it was cool, and now all those years later, ugh.
Same experience. I don't think I watched it in theaters originally, but I watched it like when it first came out, like back in the day. And I really liked it. I thought, I was just starting to get into horror movies when I first watched this. So it was my first experience, like, this is a mild spoiler, I'm not saying the thing, but there's a twist at the end. And it was my first experience of like a horror movie twist like this. So it had an impact. I was like, wow, that was crazy. Like, whoa. Now that I've seen a million and one movies and a whole bunch of horror movies with ridiculous twists, it doesn't obviously land the same. Though there are parts of it that didn't land then that do land now that make it actually like kind of creepier for me in some regards, which I will explain once we start spoiling it. But was good, not as good.
Awesome. I think everyone will figure out what I felt of the movie as I go through the basic plot points. So it stars Vera Farmiga and one of those brothers. What are they called? The Vanderbergs.
Sarsgaards.
Sarsgaards.
One of the Sarsgaard's brothers, the one that played the big-headed Hector Hammond in Green Lantern. Nobody saw Green Lantern. Oh, nobody saw it. Anyways, so they're looking to adopt a child because one of their kids died. So they have two biological kids, one dopey-looking boy who's a brat, and a deaf girl who's, I guess she's okay because she's deaf. She doesn't say much, thankfully. Love deaf kids. So they go to this orphanage. This evil witch of a little girl. Oh, spoilers, by the way. I mean, she's clearly spawn of Satan, and the father's like, hey, why don't we bring this demonic thing to our home? Best case scenario, it's a vampire. We'll get eternal life. Worst case scenario, well, the movie plays out. So, okay, they bring this evil-looking girl to their home, and yeah, the girl turns out to be evil. And she's hiding a big secret. This little girl called, with the old lady name,
Esther.
Esther.
That's the one.
I said Ethel before. Yes, Esther. Esther. Esther, right? She's like from Russia, Romania. She she's hiding a big secret, and the nun from the orphanage almost uncovered it. She came to the house to visit. On the way back, the little girl, with the help of the deaf girl, somehow just wallops her with a hammer, overpowers a grown-ass woman somehow. Okay. Right. There's a secret about this evil girl. And so we're trudging along. She's keeping a secret. This little girl wants to phase out the mother so that she can be with the father. Okay, so like metaphorically speaking, it's strong. It's you find out that the mother, the daughter, their third kid, whatever it was, I don't know if it was a boy or a girl, but that child died.
It was a girl named Jessica. She was stillborn. She died in childbirth.
Okay, because mommy was a little bit of a booze hound, you know?
No, she became a booze hound after that. Alex, get it right. It's a tragic story.
Look.
Became an alcoholic after the death of her child, Jessica.
But I thought the Esther, didn't she say is like, oh, your daughter died because you were passed out drunk or something like that? Oh, no, sorry.
No, Max almost died. The
Right.
deaf girl almost died.
Right.
His mom became an alcoholic.
His mom was yeah, she liked to have a good time. And then she got sober, she stopped being fun, and decided to adopt spawn of Satan. And so we're at this point where the Esther tries to kill the deaf girl. And no one's picking up on it. All these murders, all these tragedies. Hey, it all started when we invited this evil thing to our home. We gave it a room here. And like all this stuff happened. I was like, no, you're crazy. You must be drinking again. Okay, so that's happening in the movie. And then Esther keeps all her secrets in the treehouse. The young boy, after speaking sign language, yet saying the words out loud to the deaf girl while signing, obviously Esther hears from outside the room and finds out the plan. So the little boy goes up to the treehouse, and Esther, because she knew, she sets fire to the treehouse, and the little boy falls, ends up in the hospital. Doesn't quite die yet. And then while in the hospital, the mother smacks around Esther, blaming her because obviously, she's doing everything. But the father just can't believe it. Esther disappears for a can of pop and smothers the little boy while, he's laying out in the hospital bed. And one scene, because it kind of cuts there, and the mother freaks out, rightfully so, because the Esther tried to kill, her son, and the hospital staff restrain her and pumps her full of a drug in a needle.
As you do.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Because that's standard procedure. When you know how much have health insurance in America, how much that would have cost her. They could have gone bankrupt because of that. But
I would have been more worried about like medical allergies. They accidentally kill her by trying to sedate her.
Yeah.
That would have been nuts.
What was in that? What the hell are you pumping her? It was on hand. It was like an orderly just reached out and grabbed. Boom! All right, she's out. Hey, let's go, boys.
They just have those ready apparently.
I
Just
know.
like, okay, here.
It's called plot device medicine. You might have heard of it.
Oh, right. Okay. So plot device, the movie trudges along. The Esther. So you find out Esther is like this grown ass woman, played very well by the actress. I forgot her name, but she did a great job of like this little girl who's actually a grown
Bulgarian or Romanian. So
Russian.
Whatever. All right. She I love doing these recaps. I'll do them all. I'll do them all. So she's a grown ass woman, and okay. No, this is the interesting part because like the Esther smothers the son, and like they were alone for a little while. So she killed the son, but it feels like to me in like a focus group, as I said, I don't like that the son died. Can we change that? And like and they
that's
added,
literally what happened.
I knew it.
In the original script, the son was supposed to die, and then they're like, that's a bit too much. Maybe we don't kill him. So the doctors miraculously revived him.
Right. Yeah.
He was supposed to die.
And they included it in a bit of narrative where, drugged out of her mind, the wife hears her husband say, "Oh, he's gonna be fine. He'll be back home tomorrow." All right. Okay. So obviously it was studio influence that whole part. But once they're back home, Esther tries to bang her adopted father.
God, that was the worst.
Yeah, and because he's drunk, or maybe she drugged him.
She drugged.
No. Did she drug him? Because he was just drinking wine.
I assume so.
Right.
Yeah, no, they never showed it. It's just her vision was just kind of
right. It wasn't explicit, but like he was drinking wine and apparently like pounded it down in like 2 minutes. So yeah, okay, his vision was blurry, but he was still cognizant enough to deny the advances. So she overpowers a grown adult male, stabs him, hacks him to death. She's gonna set fire to the place because she's a crazy person from Transylvania, where she's from, Russia. She was in an institution, or sorry, a mental health clinic. I am not doing us any favors today.
Yep.
Just like, oh wow.
Check. All
Oh
right.
wow.
So
Alex is just trying to punish me for asking him to host this. That's what's happening right now.
I saw the movie yesterday, and it's like I'm forgetting everything.
You're bullying me with your explanation of this movie.
No. I would have. No. It's no bullying. It's no bullying. It's authentic. So the wife, she wakes up from having a good time. It's like the last thing you would do to a recovering alcoholic, eh? Get them. Anyway, so she makes it back to the home because she knows that Esther's gonna set fire to the house, and her deaf daughter's still there. She sees her dead husband and can't find the daughter, and Esther has a gun. Yada yada yada. They fight. Esther maybe shoots her once, like clips the wife, and they end up. Oh yeah, they both end up in freezing cold ice water, and they make it out. Or no,
the daughter was barefoot, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, the wife makes it out, and Esther's like, "Oh, please help me," and she gets a boot to the face. Like a mule, like the wife kicks her, and like that neck break was pretty dope. And she dies. The movie ends. I assume like in a minute, hypothermia kicks in, and the wife also dies. So yeah. So no, I'm kidding. The movie ends there. The wife and the deaf daughter are alive. Somehow the son lives. Sure, okay. They might as well just said, "Oh, your husband lived too." And
I was expecting that, to be honest.
Yeah. I was expecting it too. So
the way the movie was happening, I was he's gonna be alive.
I was really expecting. It's like, oh yeah, he's not dead, is he? You stabbed every single part of his chest and stomach. He's probably alive. Yeah, sure. He's gonna cough up blood. It's a hospital. Yeah, he's alive. So this movie has scares. They tease the jump scare, which I like. Like you're expecting to think, oh, nothing, okay, and then so I do like that. There's a lot of dread in there. It's gory. It does get gory at times. Esther fakes an injury.
The music worked well with
Yeah.
everything. The music was okay.
Yeah, there's a little bit of gore. But I'm going to stop talking. I'll let you guys take over. For the love of God, please tell me your favorite and your least favorite scares. Both 2 in 1. Or, yeah, let's do that. Is that okay? Or should I do favorite? Yeah.
Sure.
Favorite.
Let's do it.
Do it.
I'm just going to start by saying something about this movie. So, for those watching this and who made it through this, Alex didn't say it, but in case you didn't get it, he had never seen this movie until having to watch it to review it. So, the argument I'm going to make is if you had seen this movie when it was coming out, all of the promotional material, every promo, every trailer, everything about this movie wanted you to think that Esther was possessed. It was shown as a possession movie.
Oh.
So you go in and like Alex said, this girl is demonic. What the hell? Why? And it's really like played upon, like you're supposed to think that she's possessed. She's carrying around her Bible. She's just being sketchy. Like she's really supposed to be this possessed kid. Like, so you're going in thinking it's a supernatural movie and it's not. So when the twist is revealed, it's better. Like the twist is better because you know she's evil. It's never a question of whether she's evil. Like the tagline for the movie is there's something wrong with Esther. So we know she's evil. It's just a matter of why. So I'm just going to say that because that made the twist really good initially. If you actually thought she was possessed, and then just kidding, she's a 33-year-old crazy woman from Russia, like
with really bad teeth, and which took out
the teeth. And then like the reason she wears her little choker is because she had to wear a straitjacket, and like she tried to fight her straitjacket so much that it like cut her a lot. So she only wears the choker like so you can't, and like the little wristbands, so you can't see that. Which if you don't like, that's a cool fact.
I thought she was just emo.
Yeah, I'm like, you just have such a weird vibe. Like, what is your aesthetic? It's not working. So that's that for the story. Now, as far as scares go, I think Lou said, I agree, the sound was so good in this. There's one moment, which I don't classify as a scare, but it kind of builds on this, like, creepy demonic child thing. When they're in the orphanage and they're actually going to pick her, the husband's walking up the stairs, and you get jump scared by 2 kids laughing.
That was my favorite scare.
It's so good because that's not this movie. It's but at this point you think that's what this movie is, so it works really well. I absolutely love it. That one's just so good. Then I don't love the attempt at a jump scare in the middle of a sex scene. That's really weird. So there's the scene where the parents are in the kitchen and like she shows up. It's getting on, like things are happening, like it's pretty hot, like you know they're on the island. It's a whole thing. And then they do this musical sting of seeing Esther, and it's just so bad. Like, it's meant to be alarming to the characters, which it is. Like, your newly adopted child just saw you, like, you know,
bumping whatever.
Yeah, like, doing the whole thing and not being subtle about it. Like, very aggressively, like, wife's bent over the table, aggressive.
In a house full of children,
yeah, and you're not playing that off like, oh, we were just cuddling. Like, no, you're freaking going at it. But they do this musical sting where it turns to Esther and Esther's just there. It's so bad. It makes me laugh so hard now. It's really, really funny. So that is my least favorite attempt at a scare because that was a weak jump scare. It's just too funny.
For me, my favorite scare was the same. Like it was at the orphanage because it was the scare that I was not expecting. Like the rest of it, I was expecting something to happen in this side or that side. That one was just, I was watching it and oh, whoa, it's broad daylight while this is happening. For my least favorite scare, man, I don't know. Everything is kind of the same after that one, so all of it is my least favorite scare except for the orphanage.
You know, I was not scared by the orphanage thing, the kids laughing, because I don't know. I wasn't expecting anything because I don't know. I wasn't in that mindset, I suppose. But I'd say the favorite could have been when the father was getting stabbed to death, because like the whole time I'm just expecting him, to logically just all right, you stop. just smack her off. But like it didn't happen. There was like
This is a 4'3" girl that
Yeah.
you could have just elbowed
Yeah,
out of
yeah.
your way.
Yeah, but instead like she kept hacking, and I'm like, oh, she's still stabbing. Oh, not that it was scary, but it was like whoa. So okay, this is happening. As far as least favorite, oh man, oh jeez, because there were some laughable parts. Oh, you know what's hilarious when the deaf daughter is just in the car and like I guess Esther puts it in neutral and like it's just backing away.
It just goes back.
Yeah. And she's like, but yeah, I guess like because it was so ridiculous. It's like what you don't see that the little girl's walking away from the car. There's a lot of that in this movie, but I was rooting for the guy running alongside the car, trying to get in and stop it. Oh man, he was the real hero of this movie. Oh yeah, he took one look at Esther. It's like, oh, can't trust that bitch. Cannot trust her.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
So let's talk favorite scenes and least favorite scene of this movie.
I think my favorite has definitely changed since I first watched this movie. I remember vividly really liking the scene where she's flicking the light on and off and it's seeing like her creepy painting. I just remember like that's the scene that I think of when I think of this movie. Where it's like her painting of the orphanage, but then she flicks a light when like it's like a blue light and it's like all the people falling on the orphanage and the orphanage is on fire. Now it's funny, but at the time I'm like, oh, that's so creepy. Now I don't know if this is my favorite scene, but it's the one that's like this general idea of it, I think lands differently for me now that I'm older. Because this movie came out when? 2008?
2009, I think.
2009? So, like, I was young when this movie, like, younger when this movie came out. Like, I would have been, what, 17? Right? Can I math? I was young. And I don't think the actual, like, level of sketch of her creeping on the dad, like I don't remember that part. Like I truly just didn't land with me. And now that's so gross. I hate it so much. It's so nasty. And it makes like, I always wondered why there were like these weird sex scenes and how weird they were in this movie. Because I never felt like there needed to be, because there's the scene where the mom's like going down on the dad and like then the kids come in. I'm like, that's alarming. And then there's the kitchen scene. I never understood like why those scenes were included.
Yeah.
Now I completely get it. And it's so disgusting because like there's so much like sexual undertones of this movie of how much Esther's trying to bang the dad, not just that final scene. Like there's a lot leading up to it. And that's disgusting. And it's like maybe my favorite thing because it's so like jarring and I hate it. And it's effective in how gross it is. It's the thing that's most memorable to me about this movie now because that's really gross. I hate it. It's a child, despite the fact that she's technically 33. It's still a child, and that's disgusting.
Yeah. For favorite scene, I would have to go with when the treehouse was on fire, and it was only because it was kind of the scene where I didn't know what was going to happen. Because, like I said, I watched it when it first came out in the theater, right? So I don't remember whether the little boy was going to be burnt alive, he was going to fall off, or he was going to die. But it was the one scene in the movie where I genuinely was interested in what was happening. And, like, it was on fire. What's he going to do? And I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. But for least favorite scene, yeah, I'd have to go with the seduction scene because I don't like Michelle. I don't remember that scene at all when I first watched it, and now that I watched it, it was creepy and kind of different reasons for Michelle because that kid who is supposed to be 33 is actually a really young girl when they filmed that. And I'm like, this is awkward. This is weird. I don't know if this is allowed. Did her parents sign up for this? I mean, it didn't go as far as, you know, the director probably wanted to go, but like the attempt of what she was doing was just like, It's just, this is nasty. So yeah.
Man, Lou, I think I'm behind you for with as far as both picks go. And Michelle, I think you said the sex scenes too. They were they were kind of weird. But I suppose the uncomfortable nature of it lends itself well to the horror, feeling of horror, because you feel uneasy. So, but I will say, my favorite scene was probably the treehouse on fire. Yeah, there was, it built up the tension. Things were heating up, no pun intended. And right. So, let's.
Can we have a moment for who produced this movie?
I don't.
So there's 3 producers. One of them I don't know who it is. The second producer is Robert Downey Jr.'s wife.
Whoa.
And the third producer on this movie is a Oscar winner, top tier actor, really iconic name. Leonardo DiCaprio produced this movie.
What?
So
there's
that for you.
Wow.
I know. I was so surprised when I
Did he
saw
produce
that.
the sequel too? That's coming up. Because
I did not check who's doing anything to do with that, but that I just saw that name. I was like, wait, Susan Downey. How many Downeys are there around here? And I
Susan Downey.
No,
that's his.
That's Robert Downey
name,
Jr.'s wife. Okay, straight up. And then the next name was Leonardo DiCaprio.
Wow.
How did this movie get made? What happened? This is so weird. So maybe that has something to do with it.
So let's talk scores. What you guys think? Out of 5, please.
It wasn't good. It was awkward. It was creepy, and not a scary, creepy kind of way, but in a, you should go to jail kind of way. This is a 1 for me. I don't even remember why I liked it when I first watched it. It was probably because I was out with a bunch of friends and we were just enjoying. But no. 1. That's it. I don't like it.
Ooh. Okay.
But it seems like we should really do the sequel now because
well, it's a
I feel like it's gonna go straight to streaming, so I don't think it's
Okay, hear me out. I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 5, and the reason I say that is I can't disregard how iconic that freaking twist is, because for the time that was such a big deal. It does not hold up. We've seen it 1,000,001 times. I think, what's another creepy kid movie? Oh, The Boy. They do almost the exact same thing. Oh, just kidding. It's not a haunted doll. It's a man living in a wall. Well, sure, why not? We've seen it 1,000,001 times, but The Orphan did it arguably first. And for the time, because it's a 12, what year is it? 13-year-old movie. That it's not bad. It holds up decently well for a 13-year-old movie. It's super weird. And I would actually recommend it to anyone who's trying to get into horror and they want to see something that's that deals with more sexual themes, because there's a lot of horror movies that sex and horror is peanut butter jelly. It's a thing. It happens a lot. It's very there's a lot of movies that include that. And I think this is kind of a starter movie for that, where it's not so graphic in any way that's alarming, so you can watch it if you're kind of new to this. And I think this could be a good starter movie for people. So 2 out of 5, because it's not the worst thing I've ever seen. I've seen a lot this year. I've already seen worse. So
guys, I'm gonna give it a 4. No, I'm
you're not.
joking. No,
it's not even funny. I thought you were gonna be
No,
a 4,
you're not.
a -4.
Hello. No. You know what? I the conceit did not work for me at all. Like I said, no one in the right mind would bring that little girl to their home. And the whole, okay, aesthetically, okay, it's cool, but you're wearing something around your neck and you keep wearing stuff, and your bracelet, you're obviously hiding something. What? Vampire fang bites, what's going on here? Let's inspect. Let's see.
33-year-old scars.
Exactly. So, it's yeah, the conceit is dumb. I could not suspend my disbelief because it was so weird. Everybody's making dumb choices, and yeah, I would give it a 2 though because it was relatively well made. Like you could see some effort was put into it, and like with like a better script, like they could have had something better. And I could imagine back when the movie first came out, it probably was a bigger deal. And fair enough. Right. So that's it. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for sitting through me poo-poo all over a movie and yet still not be the lowest score. Tied for the highest score. But then again, I gave Malignant like a 3.5. So love that movie. Still love it. Yes. All right. Follow us on the socials and leave a comment, subscribe. We'll be back for another one sooner than you think. And I forgot to introduce everyone. I'm Alex, Lou, Michelle. All right. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.